Hey, the VCS 6x6, it's basically a tier 9 version of the EBR-75. Which is what they probably want you to think because, well, the EBR-75 is one of the most sought out after tanks, right? Not just by me, but by everybody else. And they haven't sold it in 5 years. So instead they're going to lock this behind loot boxes and say, it's an EBR-75, but at tier 9. Sadly, it's not. It has worse DPM, a bit more pen and slightly more alpha, but it has a 2-shot autoloader with 1.5 second interclip. And I'm not gonna lie, this is very nice. But what's not very nice is the aim time is much longer, the accuracy is worse, the gun dispersion factors are worse, but it does get a bit more gun depression. It's slower, but has a bit better power to weight. But here's the big thing. It has no armor. And you might think, okay, the EBR-90 doesn't really have armor, but it has enough so that HE cannot pen it frontally. And even from the side, the wheels act as spaced. Now, it does get some good amount of health, that's pretty nice, but oh. See, this is the real killer for the tank. Although it gets 380 view range, which is amazing for a wheeled light, look at this camouflage. It's so bad, to the point where if you were to run low noise, and normally I would use bounty, but most of you are going to use the regular one, so most of you will use this. Its camo is still worse than the EBR-90 with low noise exhaust. That's pretty bad, dude. What this basically means is that this tank gets spotted extremely easily. And because it's massive, it's poking out through bushes. But it gets even worse. I didn't put the EBR-75 as a comparison because you can't get that tank, so what's the point? But I'm just gonna do it anyway. The DPM is much worse, but it actually gets a lot worse than you think, because what are the EBR's specialty? Look, 75mm of HE pen. That's great. Look how much DPM this thing has with a clip. The EBR-90, same thing, 75mm of HE pen. Look at that. Bumps up the DPM. The VCS? Oh. It doesn't get this nice penetration. So you're not going to be really doing this 660 unless you're hitting something like a shit barn where pretty much anything can pen that no matter what. And to top it all off, the EBR-75's gun handling is better than the 90 and way better than the VCS. You know, this VCS is giving me Lynx vibes. Now you might think 45mm of penetration versus 75, is that really that big of a deal? Yeah, actually it is. So when I say the EBR has armor against HE, this is what I mean. When you load HE, there are some spots where you can't actually pen. But remember, the EBR's specialty is that it gets high penetration HE rounds. So with these high penetration HE rounds, you can pen another EBR pretty reliably unless your shell goes a bit wide and hits this. Okay, fine. What about the VCS with its 45mm of HE pen? Oh. Well, the lower plate is a 2/3 chance, 66%. This is a 90%, but it's kind of a small target, and yeah. And don't bother shooting the wheels. It's not going to pen the wheels, right? So this is what I mean by the EBRs having some armor against HE rounds and also having high penetration HE rounds. The VCS has neither of these, and that's why it completely folds to the EBR-75. To be more specific, I'll just show you. Here it is, the armor model. First of all, this thing is huge. So when you make a tank huge with no armor and no camo, you're in for a rough time. But let's just go to live view. Alright, there isn't even an auto ricochet angle on this tank. So its crappy 45mm of HE pen can still penetrate this thing everywhere. And even if you drive straight on, you might say, okay, if you auto aim, it won't pen here, right? Okay, well, this tank's going to get matched up against other VCSs and EBR-90s, and the EBR-90 is just going to chew through this thing, especially in EBR-75. One thing Wargaming did, if you look here, the part of the model that actually connects to the wheels is, in fact, part of the hitbox. This normally isn't. That would be considered suspension, but look at that. If you aim here and the shot goes low, and you're not firing HE, it won't actually magically get absorbed by the wheels. in that it missed the hull altogether, it will still hit the hull. So it's good that this tank is balanced this way. It's just a problem when this is the only wheeled vehicle balanced this way, and it has to compete against other EBR 90s. Because as you know, wheeled light tanks get matched up against other wheeled light tanks, which this is one of. And at least when I was playing it, I was getting 5-minute queues. And I say 5-minute because after 5 minutes, it kicks you out of the queue. It's actually 15-minute queues. But maybe now there's a lot more of them in the matchmaker, so it won't be a big deal. So really, this tank is just not as good as you might think it is. And it certainly isn't worth gambling for. Because, yes, it is unique gameplay that you can't get anywhere else, you know, for the time being, before they sell this again. However, this unique gameplay is just not that good, because you're inferior to the other EBRs with armor, camo, HE performance, gun handling. The only thing you really have going for it is the view range. But this view range is meant to counteract their EBR's camo. So when it comes to a VCS on EBR fight, it's pretty equal. The problem is if it's a VCS against an ELC even 90 or a Manticore, well, it's just gonna get spotted way before it gets even close enough to spot the Manticore, right? So is this tank worth gambling? I'm gonna be honest with you. Unless you really like to be frustrated all the time because you're constantly getting spotted from God knows what, I would say no, it's not worth it. And one last thing I just noticed here, the EBR 90 goes backwards the same amount it goes forward, and so does the EBR 75, but the VCS goes backwards at 40. So it's just another thing that they did, just slightly thing here and there that you hopefully won't notice to make this tank worse. Anyway, that's, I guess, enough yapping. Let's just get on with the replays. Mountain Pass? What? Chems? A light tank on Mountain Pass? Listen, this is actually an extremely close game. It's a very, very interesting and close game. So, yeah, not the type of replay you're going to find on Quickie Baby's channel. That's for sure. And to be clear, I don't have a problem with Quickie Baby. I like Quickie Baby. It's a bit of playful banter. You know, it's just in only one way. But yeah, as you can see, I have predominantly loaded gold, because what the hell am I supposed to do with 208 standard pen against tier 9s and 10s? Like, shouldn't 235 be the standard pen? That's kind of the standard pen for tier 8s. Well, maybe a bit higher, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this tank doesn't have a speed mode. I think I forgot to mention that. Strange, isn't it? You can't do the little, like, funny low speed turning back and forth. You can still turn quickly, but you have to be at your top speed. Anyway, I'm seeing if the Squall's gonna poke anytime soon, because I can dump 500 into him pretty easily, and he's gonna probably spray a few shots into me and miss. And, wow, okay, that was pretty lucky. That second shot looked like it clipped the edge of his cupola. But yeah, that's a pretty nice 500 damage start to the match. But I'm afraid that's gonna be pretty much all I'm gonna get for a while. Because, well, you know, it's Mountain Pass. Very corridor-like. And, well, anything that you can shoot at is in a hull down. So, I'm gonna come over here and just wait for an opportunity. Really, I'm not going to try anything too crazy because this tank cannot really afford to make mistakes. And, okay, here we are. Interesting that there's like a little lip here he can hide behind. And, oh, that's nice. Missed the first shot. Yeah, this is not an EBR 75, let me tell you, okay? If you're not fully aimed, you're probably not going to hit your shots. It does happen, but it's so risky. Anyway, this guy is not paying attention. I'm gonna load HE and see if I can pen his ass, even with 45 millimeters of pen. Turns out, yes, I can actually pen the back of his turret. I didn't know that. I'm not sure how I knew that at the time, but apparently I knew I could do that. So 1400 damage already, that's pretty nice. As you can see from the map though, we're about to lose our base. So I think at some point I'm going to go back. I think the reason I'm not going back right now is I'm thinking maybe I should use my view range to see if I can spot anybody from my team. And, well, okay, a hull down Kalana. No, okay. I waited for him to turn, and this tank, after all, is not very accurate. Anyway, I see the Wheezy going in, so he's going to be doing all the spotting. So, there's really no reason for me to stick around here. Alright, let's go back to the base because it looks like they're about to get there. Now, to be fair, maybe I should have went back to the base a lot earlier and gone up on the hill with the Barask, right? Hindsight is 20/20. Now, because this is a wheeled light tank, I'm about to do something that usually does actually work. I know it seems kind of stupid, but it does actually work because people's reaction times are quite slow and they're usually zoomed in at x25, right? But anyway, it would be nice to flank these people, and I don't really feel like going all the way around. That would take too long. And let's see. I'm gonna be real with you. It didn't look like he was aiming at me. And why the fuck does he have HE loaded? Like, these people exist just to ruin my games. Anyway, now we've got this fuckhead who sees the one shot and is just foaming at the mouth. Look at him. I gotta get the one shot. His tank has a muzzle brake. That means he has the single shooter. This means all he has to do is miss one shot, and then I could put two into him, but he's not firing his gun. So I decide to try and leave. But look at that, he's going to our allies. He's finally ignoring me, which means I can clip his ass out. Or I can bounce one of the shots. Yes, this is why I say don't get this tank. I'm gonna be just completely honest with you. It's so fucking annoying, okay? This tank does this all the goddamn time. It just misses its fucking shots. Let's see if it does it again. Alright. There's one. And there's the second one. Maybe I should have aimed the second shot a bit longer. Fair enough. But the EBR-75 doesn't have to do that. And, yeah. You're gonna have to get used to this, because when you advertise the tank as having a 1.5 second interclip, but you have to aim the second shot longer, well then it's not really a 1.5 second interclip now, is it? Anyway, it's a close game, but it's actually not that close because we're at a pretty sizable HP disadvantage. They have 2,500 more HP than us. So that's not good. I'm going to come over here and let's see. I'm going to take the wide angle first in case someone's camping this corner. And look, an artillery. Can these two shots fucking land? Okay, there's one and... Okay. That 1.5 second interclip, I'll admit, was pretty nice. And, well, again, I'll admit, I got lucky, right? The second shot wasn't aimed. That could have very easily missed. But this time it didn't. The Barask is saying VCS go back. He is partially right. That's why I didn't YOLO in. There could be somebody around that corner, and if I just head in, I will die. VCS back, no HP. Yes, Barask, I know. I came here to try and spot to see if the area was clear, and I did exactly that. The 122 TM missed me, which was a bit lucky, although it was kind of weird that my sixth sense went off before I saw him. That's, yeah. One of the many wonders of having a big tank like this with no camo. Anyway, how do you push this? Like, when the enemy team has more HP and they're doing a mountain pass base camp off, well, how do you push this? Well, you don't. Really, they're in an advantageous position. Why are you trying to beat them when they have an advantage? You should pull back and wait for them to leave. Yep, that's honestly how this game works. You can see this even in Clan Wars. In Clan Wars, there's attack defense. The defending team just shit camps the entire match because it's so easy to camp in this game on pretty much every map. But especially this map. So, realistically, the best route is the ice road along that way, where I was previously. If we gathered all our remaining forces and all went there at the same time, we would 100% easily push. Because the ice road is the only spot on the map where they don't really have sniping locations. I might actually go free cam because they actually do, but it's very underutilized. Let me show you. Obviously, you can get up here, but if people come around this corner, they're very close range. It's not really a sniping location. This works as well, right? You knock these trees down, but you have to have a lot of good camo, okay? Not everything has a lot of good camo. For example, everything that's alive on the enemy team, I don't know if they have enough camo to play that. This is a good location. This is an even better location slept on. Not all tanks can play it, and admittedly, it's stronger when fighting this position. But you can get a hull down here. Sort of. And maybe even side scrape this. It all depends on the tank. You can't be too big of a tank. Anyway, I'm trying my hardest to get flanking shots. I'm coming up on this bridge because I'm assuming that all of the people that were last spotted here are currently aiming at my team. And, okay, there's one. That one hit the rock. But he died. That's good. However, they know I'm here now, which means that G-Sword can poke around that corner any second now and blow me up. So I have to leave. And I'm trying to leave in a way that doesn't get me killed. And that very nearly got me killed, but I got down. So I was last spotted up here. So for all they know, I'm going to be sitting around there, right? They have no idea I'm going to go over here. Which is why I'm going over here. And I'm going to go rather deep. Because I'm relying on the fact that I was last spotted on the bridge. To, in my mind, believe that they will not be looking down this ice road. And to a certain extent it worked. Actually, I think it worked perfectly. Because I get to here and I'm thinking, as soon as I shoot this 122 TM, he's going to barrel down and finish me off, right? Which is the right thing to do. So I'm going to go like this. And, okay, where is he? There he is. 1, 2, and get the hell out of here. Full speed. And he even turned his turret around and was left on 86 HP because of that. So I'd say that was a pretty much a 10 out of 10 play. I don't think there's any better play that could be made. I know I'm tooting my own horn here, but I'm making up for the fact that I drove in front of a Contradictious with HE and got doubled for 900, okay? Give me a break. So I don't think I can pull that little maneuver again, to be honest, because after I'm not spotted for a while, he might get wise to my tricks and turn around and aim at me. However, he just shot that guy, and I'm gonna assume the Felice is spotted. Although, look, he's driving down the hill. You look on the map, he's driving down. I don't know which way this guy's aiming. I'm not taking that risk. I am not taking that chance. I ask in chat, is he looking? And, well, apparently not. And, well, if he wasn't looking, he's definitely looking now, okay? He knows that I'm coming back and he's not falling for that again. Well, fuck. Yeah. What now? What would you do in this situation? Think to yourself. I'm going to give you a brief moment to ponder this question on your own. Looking at the map, the 122 TM is there, and he was aiming at me when I was approaching him. It's reasonable to think he may go down that way, down the ice road, and I can't really pen him from the front. The G-Sword tank is... he hasn't been spotted for a while. But chances are he might go down the bridge. So someone pings that corner of the map and oh my god, he's fucking here? Alrighty. I guess he did actually go across the entire bridge and then drive up here. And then the convoy said, holy shit, so lucky there. Yeah. He said 89 HP, good luck. The 122 TM is on 89 HP. But again, here's the problem. I cannot penetrate his armor frontally. I need to get his ass. But I don't know where he is at this point. I don't want to pull around a corner, and he's aiming at me, and I bounce both my shots, and then he kills me. Or even more likely, he snapshots me before I even get my first shot off. So what I'm doing is I'm going to constantly go back and forth in between every angle here to try and spot him. Now, whenever I'm in the position like this, I always tell you guys, I've said this before, find a high central position overlooking a vast area and that you cannot be easily YOLO'd. This is a great location if it wasn't for the fact that Wargaming changed it so I can't look down this way. So I can sit here and assume that he's gonna come that way, but if he doesn't come that way and he comes from behind me, he just kills me before I even have time to react. Alternatively, I could sit in maybe a bush here or any one of these bushes, although I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think this tank's camo can hold up to his view range, even though I'm in a bush. That's just how it is. Even if I'm prepared for him and he comes up this way, he's going to be showing his front, and then I'm going to have to shoot at his front and his turret. So I'm sitting back there, hopefully to try and catch him. Driving like this, drive by, shoot his side, or catch him over here. Now there's 30 seconds left, and I really didn't want to draw the game, but I really have no idea where the hell he is. So I'm driving back and forth here, like hoping that he's gonna like get spotted at one point. And here, 20 seconds left. I come over here, he's not in this big open area. Okay, then surely he's in the other big open area, right? Where is he? Is he really camping the base? I get that he's 89 HP, but I'm also a one-shot. So where is he? Yeah. A draw. To be fair, I maybe should have expected that him being a one-shot would mean he would play very passively. The thing is, what I failed to realize is that he doesn't know what this tank is. He doesn't realize that I cannot pen him. And he probably thinks because I'm a light tank, I have a lot of camo. That's why he's playing very passively. Sadly, if I did not take that 900 HE from the Contradictious, I would have just YOLO'd him, eaten the shot and finished him off, and the game would have been over. So you know what? Let's just pretend that I did do that and the game's over. GG, I did it, Kev. Still 4,000 damage and 3 kills. What a great clutch. Anyway, on to the next replay. Okay, we're on Westfield this time, and I've decided to paint my tank jet black because I feel like this tank kind of looks like a SWAT car. Sort of. Let's see, let me just humor me for a moment. That's right. Look at me go. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'm gonna try and spot with this thing. And this is usually the route you'd take. You would come up here, try to do a quick, fast run, and spot people going up there. Now, of course, because this is a big, fat VCS, I get spotted instantly. Because this is a wheeled light with view range, I can actually spot people. That's very nice, I'll admit. Although that means I also get spotted myself, because no camo. But, fortunately, I didn't take any damage for that. And it looks like their EBR is going the wrong way. He's going up to that corner to do I don't know what. I'm gonna just keep doing this over and over again. See? It is nice to have view range, I'll admit. But as you can see, anytime I try to spot someone, I get spotted myself. So now I have to do all these maneuvers to try and avoid getting hit. And I just realized my spotting circle is missing because I used the free cam. That's kind of annoying. It's a bug. I'm not really sure why it does that. Well, that was an armor not hit. And the second one hit though. So, there we go. This tank, I really wish they just made it accurate, okay? Fine, make the gun handling a bit poop, but could you at least make the fully aimed accuracy good? I don't know, man. Anyway, these guys are running because they took the corner, so this will be very good for me to farm some damage. Alrighty. Okay, that was a bad shot. That was a good shot. Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I run out of mouse. Like, I move my mouse a certain amount, and then I run out of room on my desk. And then like, I'm leading a shot, and then I just abruptly stop. And then, oops. There we go. That's better, Chems. Good job. And it looks like he got into cover now. Anyway, that's not too bad. So, our team is actually pretty good. Look on the southeast. They moved up and you capitalized on the fact that they're retreating. Spotted this Scorpion, getting some nice assist. And this is basically just your standard light tank gameplay. I know, when people think of tank combat, this is not what they think of. So what now? That's the question. How do I approach their base and spot them without getting spotted myself? Because, yeah, worse camo than an EBR even when using low noise. Yeah, not so good, is it? So, my thinking is, okay, I can approach from here because there's a decent amount of bushes and shrubbery. So, let's see, I spotted T69, but I want to get to around here. In one of these bushes. Perfect. And now, I don't think I spotted, I guess I did. I'm sharing this spotting with the LKPZ. Fair enough. Now, there's a KPZ 50T down there, and I believe he's clippable. I can kill him with one magazine. So, that's what I'm going to do. If I can kill him, it's going to free up this part of the map. I can go on and do more stuff. There he is. There's one. And, okay, well, the other guy killed him. That was an armor not hit, not a ricochet. That was also another armor not hit. You got to aim a little higher, Mr. T69. You're hitting my wheels and missing my hull. Anyway, this EBR got rammed. Put one into him, and put one into him. That's 2 kills. Nice. We're keeping it going. Let's keep going, and we're spotting more and more people. And this is a landslide victory. But I think it can show you that, yes, this tank can scout as long as the enemy scout doesn't contest you. And even when he doesn't, you're still getting lit a lot of the time, getting spotted. So, this guy's aiming at me. Let's just wait till I'm reloaded before I poke. How about that, Chems? Alright, there's 1 kill, and... Alright. This T95 just fired, so I'm gonna approach him now. And that one hit! Sometimes this tank does hit on the move. So, that's good to know. Anyway, look, a Panzernick. Huh. Well, do I put 2 shots into him or get the kill on this guy? I think I'll get the kill on this guy. And, okay, I was a bit too slow to get the top gun. Yeah, top gun. That's 5 kills. So yeah, this tank is not too bad. It's just that I wish maybe... I don't know. If they buff the camo, it would just be better than the EBR-90. But the camo that it has right now kind of makes the tank not very fun to play. I'll be honest. Constantly getting outlit and dying over and over again, it's just like, I don't want to play this anymore. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's go on to the next replay. Okay, we're on highway. So this is actually a pretty good scouting map from this side. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really know how you're supposed to scout from the other side. Because from this side, you go to here. And then when you see an opening, you run this ridgeline back and forth, scouting it, because you know all the tank destroyers are going to be all perched up over there, right? But from the other side, well, where are the tank destroyers usually? Maybe there's one in that building, maybe one on that hill. The rest are back there, I guess? Or there? They're kind of scattered all over the place. So yeah, it's nice that I get the good side for scouting. So, I always come here. It's a bit risky shooting, but as long as you double bush, and there isn't like some passive light here, which very rarely that ever happens, you can spot people. And what the fuck is this 155 doing? You know, you could lead a puppy to a good matchup, but you can't make him farm. That Foch 155 is fighting tier 8s. And instead of going to the city, where he could YOLO practically anybody and kill him from full with only taking 1 shot in return, he decides he's going to snipe not at the base, but below the base, to ensure that if he gets lit, there's no hope of him getting back. Yeah. You can lead a puppy to a good matchup, but you can't make him farm. I feel like there's a better way to phrase that sounds funnier. Oh well. Hey, look, a free kill. Let's get that, snatch that. I was not double bush there, So I immediately start moving in anticipation of getting lit. And, oh look, a scorpion. Can I put a shot into him? Nope. Okay, well. I'm gonna keep it up here. So, they lost their EBR 90. And, they lost their Selma. So as soon as this TL7 dies, I'm gonna go spot for them. Because when I spot, I'm probably gonna, you know, go up that ridge line and whatnot. And the way you don't blow up is by going up, spotting, and then hiding. But that's kind of hard to hide when there's a TL7 that can clip you out from full. So, I'm gonna wait for him to be killed. I'm not gonna be, what's the word? I'm not gonna take too many risks just yet, because, again, this tank's camo is not that great. They will see me coming, so. Besides, hopefully I can get some shots on this TL7 anyway, so it's not like I'm doing nothing. And there he is. There's one. And there's two. Splendid. He's probably going to die soon, right? Let's see. He's YOLOing to God knows what, or God knows where. Am I really going to be able to finish him off? Okay, let's find out. There's one. I don't know where that one went. Another classic VCS moment. Anyway, now that he's dead, I can go start spotting things. And I'm not sure if I spotted that scorpion. I guess I did. Was he not in the bush? I guess maybe he was sticking out of the bush. Anyway, I spotted him, so that's nice. Again, it's great to actually have view range. And, you know, if no one's gonna shoot at him, fine. I'll shoot at him. Armor not hit. Fucking, the scorpion is such a massive target and that still missed. Come on, man. I should be at like 2k damage by now. Whatever. As you can see, I actually got lit there. So, yeah, that's that camouflage just not working, man. Yeah. Should you gamble for this tank? You're just gonna have a lot of situations where you're like, how was I spotted? It's just, I'm honest with you. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. You missed one. Come on, team. He's only giving you his broadside. And there we go, 1,000 spotting. Yeah, Fosh155. Maybe you shouldn't have come to this fucking position. And you're really still gonna aim at me? Like, this guy takes 1,600 damage from up far away, and he's like, I'm gonna aim at this light tank. Yep. Again, you can put a puppy in a good matchup, but you can't make him farm. I think that's a better quote. Anyway, look, there's gonna be artillery here, and even if he direct hits me, he cannot one-shot me, so that's good. And oh, you're trying to run, are ya? Let me just aim this. There's one. There's two. That one almost missed. Fucking VCS. And the sad part about this tank is that I would love to run vert stabs or maybe even improved aiming cope equipment. I don't know, but you just can't. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna take off low noise and be even worse off than an EBR 90? Or take off my optics and then my view range advantage completely vanishes. And then what? Or take away CVS. And now it's gonna be impossible to scout other light tanks. Like, I mean, I talked about this in my reform video. Yeah. If you're watching this video, you've probably definitely watched the reform video. But anyway, look, free damage now. This is why you should never cap. Even if it's a close game, it's always more fun to try and fight it out till the end. The only time I cap is when there's like really, really no chance of winning. And then that's fun in its own respect, right? Like, there's 3 of you left, and okay, that shot was pretty shit. I was kind of tripped up on the fact that I rammed into that M5Y, but yeah, look, if it's like 3 versus 10, there's no way we're gonna win. It would actually be insane if you were to cap and pull a victory out of that. That's when capping is fun and cool. But like right now, why the fuck would I capture the base now when I have so much free damage? Like, guys, we worked so hard to break through their flank in order to come around and get free flanking shots, but instead you just end your game there capping. It's such a stupid idea. It's because people watch Jingles, and no hate to Jingles, but they watch Jingles and they hear him say, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, or no cap kill all, and he portrays it as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to want to play the game in an enjoyable way. Even if it means you lose some games that you should have won, that means the enemy team gets a fantastic replay for them. Okay, it works both ways, guys. Capping is boring for both parties. Close games are interesting for both parties, whether it's a win or a loss. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, but let's go on to the next replay, you jackass. Okay, the VCS on Big Ensk, or Ensk region. Yeah, region, Ensk region. I'm calling it Big Ensk, and so are you. So, where the hell do you go in this tank? Well, I guess you go to the field. And I'll be honest, this is the first time I've ever gone to the field. This is the replay. I don't quite really know how it works. Because I don't have camo. But I'm gonna try my best. Let's see, I'm gonna... instantly spotted already. Evasive maneuvers, I guess. Maybe I can spot someone. I know I'm still lit, but... Fuck. Get some early spots off. Alright, there we go. What the fuck? A T-110E5 and an IS-7 came over here to snipe? That's crazy, dude. What the hell? And of course, yeah, he's gonna... Snipers, bro. They're good at hitting wheeled lights. I mean, to be fair, this thing is huge. And I keep turning off my map because apparently I have M bound to this button on my mouse, and I'm not sure why. Anyway, where did he hit? Probably some bullshit angle, I'm sure. I don't even know where. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if they're both over there, that means there's basically a Panzer VII in the city and maybe some other junk tanks. I'm going to harness the fact that nobody really knows that this tank or this map is like bigger. And look, I hit it again. Look at me go. I just got hit by a Roomba. Splendid. Cool. But actually, I'm just going to do this because I don't think it has registered to pubbies that there's this whole area of the map. Like, in their head, the map ends right here. So, I'm gonna harness this and just drive over here. And get behind them. I don't think there's gonna be anything that's gonna be YOLOing to me back. Maybe in no, not the even 90. He's in the middle of the field. DBR 90? Maybe. But, let's see if I can spot anything. No, I can't. And quite frankly, I don't really feel like spotting hidden tank destroyers when I can just be getting ass shots on the heavies in the city. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Look at this. Dynamic gameplay. First and last time you'll see it. Alright. An XM57. I'm gonna focus him because he's obnoxious. Alright. Put 2 shots into him. He's gonna turn his ass around and stare at me. Fine. That's why I started with him first. So that these guys don't turn around and aim at me. Now I can get free shots into him. And the back of your turret is an ammo rack. And okay, no ammo rack. So, I was able to put 2 clips off because I started with the XM. And then I went to the Panzer VII next. That way, it's sort of like cascading shitter attention, so to speak. Anyway, so this Panzer VII thinks I left. And I guess this is the nice thing about an autoloader like this. The reload is about 15-ish seconds, which means by the time you're reloaded, you've been unlit, and they've probably lost interest in you. So let's come over here. He fired, but the 257, no, not 257, what's it called? 752. I literally got it backwards. He was turning towards me, and okay, they're getting surrounded right now. And let's see, a Yag Tiger. Okay, there's one miss. Cool. And that one penned. That's, yeah, kind of how it is. So, now that all my allies are distracting these heavies, I can afford to come here and put some shots into them. Alright. There's one that didn't pen, and there's 2. The VCS back at it again. Although, to be fair, the 752 does have some of the most obnoxious armor imaginable. So, this Kari somehow didn't pen this guy. Alright. More for me, I guess. There's one for the ammo rack, and sadly we didn't blow him up. Oh well. Well yeah, I guess 2400 damage isn't too bad considering this is Ensk. And that just goes to show you guys, light tanks on city maps aren't really that big of a deal. I'm gonna be honest with you. In fact, I quite like it when I get Himmelsdorf in my EBR 105 because I can do exactly what you're seeing right now. Not that. Well, I actually do in fact do that and die. But no, what I mean is find an opening, go through it quickly, and now you have flanking shots. Basically, Stalingrad. This map is kind of good for that, assuming there isn't some crazy shit camper back here. And, well, there is crazy shit campers back here, but not when I was driving. And, well, I guess the Roomba was here, but... So, I'm gonna get unlit, and I'm gonna see if I can approach. And, I've done a mission, apparently. Woohoo. I'm gonna see if I can approach this, and look at this tree. Well, if I knock this tree over, then I should be able to poke this and not get lit. And look who he's aiming at. That one missed. But he didn't spot me. Interesting. Anyway, let's look at these guys staring at me. That one also missed. Yeah, fucking VCS moment. I am, like, moving as I'm firing. Which means that, like, it's almost at the same time. And it means it blooms ever so slightly. But I mean, give me a break, man. I don't feel like getting, like, snapshotted by these guys both staring me down. I'd rather miss both shots and try again than take damage. I think that's fair enough. And okay, Yak Tiger. Aim. There's one. And, okay. He turned slightly. That one bounced. Fine. Kind of on me. Anyway, we'll just reload. These guys aren't really going anywhere. So, the Yak Tiger's gone. Shall I load HE for this guy? And, oh, well, I guess I'll kill this guy. And then shoot that guy. So that's good. We're at 3k damage now. Yeah, like, that's kind of the thing with this tank. It takes a while to get any reasonable amount of damage. The DPM is quite low. And you miss a lot of your shots. Miss or bounce. So, that makes it even lower. But, well... Now, instead of capping, I'm gonna go and get flanking shots on these people. That's the whole point of pushing through this side, right? It's not to cap, it's to be able to get flanking shots and farm people up. Unfortunately, I can't see them. Yes, this tank has good view range, but it's good view range for a wheeled light tank. 380 meters view range is still kind of below average. I don't know where that shot went, okay? Don't even ask me. Wargaming is just fucking trolling me at this point. it will, like, honest to goodness, put a target like that in front of me, and then say, sorry, you missed. And then expect me to say this is a good tank. No, okay? No. He's looking at me. He just blinded me, but missed. What a son of a bitch. Okay, here's the side of someone. There we go. 490. Finally, I hit 2 shots in a row. Check that out, guys. But yeah, this is the nice part about not capping. I know. You can, like, get more damage, more XP. I was hoping to shoot his engine deck there because it was green. And, well, it didn't work out. Whatever. Let's just reload and finish these guys off. So, the Sturf K is going that side. He's going to draw their attention. The IS-7 fired. Alright, let's, oh no. I'm spotted. Will this pen? That one will pen. For some reason, the IS-7 decided to give me his side. So, thanks, buddy. Anyway, that was 3,600 damage. I mean... Chems, is this really the best replay you have of this tank? I actually have, like, 6 or 7 replays of this that are, like, decent games. But I've never had, an exceptional game. Because this tank is just mid. I don't see why you would get this unless you don't have any premium light tanks and you want one. Then, okay, sure. But anyway, on to the next replay. Finally, a game on Prague. Come on, Chems, you weren't about to show us a video on a light tank and not show us at least one Prague game. Well, luckily for you, here it is. The Prague game of the century in the VCS. Of course, I'm gonna have to compete with an EBR-90. However, I can passive scout. Because my bad camo can sort of be made up for by the fact that I can just go into a bush. But he can't really do anything about his bad view range. Now, sadly, this means I'm going to be sitting here for a fucking long time Sorry to break it to you guys, but yeah, that's how it is. So this spot right here is a good spot if you're in a light tank that doesn't have good camo. And apparently that ELC even 90 doesn't have good camo because you can usually make it up there in a tank that has, like I said, good camo, but I guess he doesn't have low noise or no camo crew or something. But this tank is not one of those tanks that can make it up there. I'm not even gonna attempt to get up there. I'm not too afraid of a squall, but an EBR 90, yeah, that's a bit of a problem, right? So if you could kindly kill this Barask before he gets too close, that'd be great. Okay, thank you. Phenomenal. So this ELC has decided, fine, I'll passive scout this way. Now, if you drive a little bit forward into here, what you can do, or actually maybe even a little bit into here, but you knock this tree down and then people start blinding you. You spot the light when they cross this gap right here. Now that's going to take a very, very long time. So let's just skip forward, okay? Here's your average proc game. Look, you asked for it, guys. You fucking asked for it. That's interesting. He left this and got killed. Although he's kind of stupid and he left outside the bush. So that's kind of on him. But, oh, you see these trees? Well, clearly I didn't see these trees. I genuinely think I was on my phone. And now I'm no longer on my phone. And like I said, you spot them through this gap here. And splendid. 600 spotting assist. Although I think he was full, wasn't he? Why didn't I get all of it? Whatever, I'm not asking questions. Would you look at that? So, I didn't realize... I need to look back on that. Did he spot me? I couldn't quite tell if I was proxied or not. And so I backed up, thinking, oh shit, then looked at the map and saw I was outside of his proxy circle. But then realized, oh well, I just backed up, so I must have been in it. So that's why I shot him. Anyway, I'm gonna do some of this and spot the squall. Now I know where he is. Good, good. Okay, as soon as I get unlit, I can go deep in the bushes because the squall is leaving. So, to be fair, the squall could be doing the exact same thing. He could be coming back. So instead, let's see if I can take up here. Going over here is kind of risky because I don't have much camo and the squall is still alive. So, instead, I will try and get to here and spot him. Or anybody for that matter. The key to playing a light tank with low camo is to just wait for the enemy to make a mistake. The sad thing is, it could be 15 minutes before that happens. So, let's skip forward. Here we go. I write in chat, squall needs to die for me to continue. Which, yeah, it's kind of how it is. This thing has 0 camo, so don't expect me to go sneak up in there. I'm also massive, so nobody misses this thing. Yeah. Well, there we go. I spotted an SU-130 PM. And we just gotta keep waiting. And waiting. And waiting. Now, in case you guys are wondering, that Reddit post was me. Yep. Okay. Yes. It was me. I admit it. I admit it. It's okay. The mask has been removed. It was me. That's why I was trolling and saying I have airstrikes. If you're wondering how I have those pings, I should say don't worry about it. And if you're, again, wondering why I have a super test tank on the NA server, even though there aren't any super tester NA accounts, I would also say don't worry about it. What you should worry about is Wargaming's predatory monetization. And if you buy boxes to support it, just know that not only are you supporting this dog shit like system they have going on here, but what are you getting for it? You're getting this thing, which, you know, it's not terrible, it's not great. And that could be said for pretty much all other tanks that have been in the boxes. Like, for example, what's that? The term, the GC, whatever term, the turreted German tank destroyer. I have it. I played a few games, and I decided I'm not gonna do a review on this tank because I don't fucking care about it at all. Like, There's no way you could ever make me play that thing. It's so boring and whatever. One thing you should notice is that the turret traverse on this tank is kind of a little bit slow. So like that second shot on the Barask, I missed because I turned a little bit and the turret couldn't keep up. That's annoying. But there we go, 7,500 spotting damage. But I'm gonna be honest with you. What light tank would not have this score, but more? This score or even higher in a matchup like this and in a situation where the light tank dies and I'm able to go in and spot and all that. Anyway, this Squall is like... Do you see how close I have to get to spot him? And I only spot him because he spotted me. And he fully clipped me out because I missed my first shot on him. God damn it. It's okay, it was the end of the match anyway. Who cares? Anyway, yeah, that's this tank for you. You're just gonna get outshot up by an EBR-90. Because the EBR-90, he will hit you on the move, and he'll pen you with HE. You will try to load HE back, you will miss the first shot, and then the second shot will hit him and not pen. And that's pretty much the story, the life story of the VCS. So, honestly, I don't really recommend getting it. I kind of enjoyed it because having a wheeled light tank with view range is nice for a change, but the novelty definitely wore off as I kept getting spotted left, right, and center. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.